guess the easy first question is this defensive line now seems to really be getting after the passer. What have you seen from them in practice that's now translating to in-game?
Just the process. Guys are trusting their techniques, and guys have bank reps at practice, and you got a proven method that works, and the guys are when the lights on, they're making the plays. They're just falling back on the habits that they created in practice. So it's really fun to watch.
For Jeffrey, comes in as a transfer this year, but it seems like he's stepped up as a leader on and off the field. What have you seen from him in his role as a leader, but also his in-game production?
Just a big-hearted guy who loves to play football, loves his teammates, and really selfless. He hadn't missed a practice. He works his butt off. He's done everything to give himself a chance to be the best version of himself on Saturday. So you appreciate that, and he cares. And when you care, and then you have the work ethic, and great things happen for you. So really proud of him, and just how he's grinded, and how it's paid off for him.
Coach Simons talked about how many snaps the defense is playing. What's it like for you when you're trying to rotate these guys in and out, trying to keep them fresh, but they're still producing at a high level?
Yeah, that's what the good teams can do. You can roll, and then there's not a drop off. When you have guys going in the game to just run the defense, you really don't have depth. But when you can rotate guys and they can go in a game and make a play and be confident in themselves, and there's no drop off, then you really have something special. And that's what we have to have for us to accomplish the things that we want to accomplish.
And you talk about the no drop off, no matter who's on the field, in those big third and fourth and short scenarios. It seems like you guys have thrived getting off the field a ton. What does that say about the mentality?
Yeah, at times we joke around here that we've been better at 4th and 1 than we've been 3rd and 15. There's attention to detail, guys. Just the preparation. Whether it's Coach Simons, Coach Mo. We try to put these guys in the best position. And they understand situational football. Probably the best I've ever been around as far as coaching and just really understanding the situation. We do a great job weekly of having these guys prepared. So it's really been awesome to see.
Coach Lashley's talked about this is the first time in 40 years that SMU has played 6 straight Power 4, Power 5 games. Is it as easy to say that this bye week comes at a perfect time now to reset?
Oh man, we needed it. We needed it, and to be able to have the bye and possibly get as fresh as you can be, and then have an opportunity to try to close the season out in a manner the way we want to. It was right on time. It is what it is. Everybody else is going through it across the country, so that's the hand we was dealt. And hey, let's go play the cards.
And a couple more transfers, Terry Webb and Shaq Spears. How have you seen them just get better as the season goes on?
Terry Webb flashes, every game, man. He's been very consistent. He's been the most productive in the room, and I love the kid. A kid who lost his mother before the Baylor game, still played in it, and you could tell the wear and tear on his body is adding up. But he's a football player, man. He's a guy that, when you're gonna bet on someone, you bet on that young man. Just how the support that he has, and for him to still be where he is right now is really impressive to him, and the inner drive that he has. So we're fortunate to have him, and I think this bye week couldn't be at a perfect time. Get him healthy. And, that way we're not limping to the finish line, that we're sprinting. And then Shaq has done a good job for us. He's just a guy that, man, big-hearted kid, stays in the building, works at it, and he's provided us depth. We've been able to roll constantly throughout the year. And anytime you got 300-pounders, the 3 guys you name, Emba, Terry, Shaq, those are 300-pound guys. You got to have several of them to have a chance, and we have them. So it's my job to make sure I keep it as simple as I can so that they can use their God-given ability.
And coming into the season, people talked about how many new faces were in this defensive line group as a whole, but what have you seen from them off the field, together, that allows them to produce on the field?
I think the number one thing is that we have a standard. You can show these guys videotape of how it's supposed to be done and what we expect. We can pop on the tape and say, hey, this is how it's supposed to be done. And you have guys that have played on Sundays and had opportunities to play on Sundays. And when you can show that to those guys, they buy into your culture. The culture starts with your head coach, and then Coach Simons creates the culture for how we want to play on defense. So when you have a culture, you know, you're going to see some of the same things happen over and over and over. And we want to get it to the point to where, man, you want to play good football up front, you know, come to SMU, you know, you're going to get developed, you're going to get taught. And it's a system that allows you to use your God-given ability to make plays. So when you have athletic guys with the right culture, with the right system, you expect production to happen. So that's been pretty good for us. And I think the guys kind of follow suit. And it's been good to see them come together. We had to go through some growing pains, but we're here now. And you know, now it's our job to like apply the wisdom that we've learned from those growing pains.
And you mentioned it a little bit. Coach Simon said Turbo maybe wasn't having the best start to the season that he wanted, but he's really picked up his production. What have you seen from him, especially when Cam was banged up?
Just hungry. Just like, hey, okay, these guys are so resilient. Like, okay, that happened, so what? Keep going, keep going. I mean, and you know, he's one of those guys. You say, hey, man, you could point to Elijah Roberts, and you could say, hey, maybe he started here his senior year, boom, 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 and look how it finished. He's starting for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So just keep playing, man. Just don't get in your own head. You know, one of the biggest struggles a man has is between his ears. And for him, it was just rep after rep, day after day. You know, if you put in the work in practice, it'll show up for your game, and it's showing up for him. And it's just proud to see that. We needed him to do that.